Uh, Listen, everybody, welcome to the 2021 Clark County Realtors Foundation Community Grants Awards ceremony. We are just thrilled to be here today with all of you. My name is Brian Pelkey. I'm the Foundation Board President this year. The Clark County Realtors Foundation supports local nonprofit organizations that are committed to serving disadvantaged children, families, and the elderly. In 2017, we relaunched our community grants program, and since have been privileged to award over $149,000 in grants to local nonprofits. This year, we are pleased to award $32,350 in grants. In 2021, the foundation held two major fundraisers that provided funds for our grants: our cornhole tournament in August and our Give More 24 event in September. All of the money that we raise stays right here in Clark County. Representatives from the 22 organizations who are receiving grants are here with us today. At this time, I would like to ask the representatives to put their organization's contact information in the chat window so that people who are interested in learning more about your organization can contact you. You can do that anytime during this presentation today. At this time, we'd like to recognize one of our foundation members who was instrumental in securing sponsors and donations for our Give More 24 event. Also, when our Boo Bowling Tournament in-person event was not possible, she created a Boo Bingo virtual event to take its place with very little notice. She and her company have been involved in supporting every one of our foundation fundraisers. We are pleased to recognize today Jody White with the Clark County Realtors Foundation. We'd like to present her the Above and Beyond Award. Jody, thank you so much for your outstanding service to this foundation. I might also add that Jody will be our foundation president next year. So a big congrats to Jody White. Okay, this year we received 26 grant applications with asks totaling over $81,000. We were humbled by the amount of need, and the choice was difficult as we could only fund a portion of the requests that were submitted. A big congratulations to the 22 organizations receiving grants today, and we'd like to get started with that right now. Our first recipient is Santa's Posse. Santa's Posse is a partnership between the Clark County Sheriff's Office and the local community, working together to collect and distribute toys and food to make a special Christmas holiday for less fortunate families in our community. We are pleased to award Santa's Posse a grant to help purchase toys and non-perishable food. This year, they are hoping to increase their impact in the community. Joining us today to accept this grant is Sergeant Kevin Elias. Kevin, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, Brian, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, actually retired Sergeant Kevin Elias.
So, yes, that's right. I should have said that.
So anyway, I'm still working though. That leads me to, we are a all volunteer nonprofit. Every dollar that's donated goes directly to our families. 97.5 cents of every dollar goes to our families. We have very little overhead with some insurance and marketing and packaging and whatnot. So the need is bigger than ever this year. We opened up our referrals to the social services and school districts, and in 3 hours, we had 1,200 families referred and just over 3,400 children. So the need's there. This is our 24th year. Next year, we hope to increase it by at least 100 families, depending on how fundraising goes this year. And with your help and the help of others in our community, it's going well. So thanks. And I could talk for 20 minutes, and I know you guys got lots to do. So thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you, Kevin. We're so glad we're able to help this year once again. Okay, our next recipient is the Assistance League of Southwest Washington. They are an all-volunteer nonprofit organization dedicated to transforming lives and strengthening the community. Assistance League has partnered with Innovative Services to plant a school playground garden where children can experience the full cycle of gardening. Joining us today to accept this grant is Jerry Rowe.
Hello, can you hear me? I think I'm okay.
Yep,
We've
loud and
had some
clear.
computer problems. Yes, I'm with the Assistance League of Southwest Washington, and I'm on the board, and I'm the vice president for the philanthropic programs. And a special program for me has been COP, the Children's Opportunity and Potential Program with Innovative Services. And we wrote a grant hoping to get some help with our children's garden. The children help plant the garden from seed and in their classrooms, and some of us volunteer to start the garden in our homes. And then we all plant this garden, and your grant will help us start over every year, making it bigger and better, having more materials and more tools. And then the chef, he harvests the garden and he prepares the food right out of the garden to the children for their lunch meals. So it's been a very nice program from start to finish for the children and their families. In addition, this year we partnered with WSU SNAP program to include more nutrition materials, books, recipes for low-income families and families living on very low budgets. And that's been a wonderful opportunity. We've gotten cookbooks and recipes, and it's going to go on all year. So the garden has been just a special feature that everyone enjoys when they enter the school and they see what's happening and how much is growing, and we grow a lot of food. So I want to thank you for this, and thank you because this grant this year will also allow us to provide classroom materials, nutrition activities that we haven't been able to afford. And we will be doing that for 6 classrooms of preschool children. So thank you again.
You're very welcome. Excellent. Glad we can help this year. Okay, the next grant goes to Autism Empowerment. Autism Empowerment is a grassroots nonprofit devoted to promoting a culture of acceptance, enrichment, inspiration, and empowerment in the lives of youth, adults, and families in the autism community. What makes them unique from the majority of autism-related organizations is that everyone on their board of directors and in key roles is either diagnosed on the autism spectrum or has autistic family members. Some of them have a combination of both. We are pleased to award a grant to help fund their Autism Empowerment CARES program. Here to accept their grant and to tell us a little bit more about the organization is Karen Krecha.
Hello, can you hear me, Brian?
Yep.
Wonderful, thank you so much. This is the 3rd year that Autism Empowerment has been honored to be able to receive a grant, and we're really jazzed. And so congratulations to everybody else out there. The last 2 years, our grant was for our Autism Serves Kids Care Club program, which is a volunteerism program that helps autistic youth learn service learning volunteerism by volunteering in the community. We believe very strongly that everybody has gifts and strengths to give to this world. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, the place that we held our Kids Care Club program has been closed to outside groups since March of 2020. So we wanted to be able to continue offering services. A lot of people within autistic communities are struggling right now because we've thrived a lot on routine. There's been a lot of changes in schools. And so we wanted to focus this year a little bit more on mental health and to let people know that we still care, that we still want to keep the connection alive. And so what we did is that we pivoted, and we are now reaching people through a new program called Autism Empowerment Cares. And so thanks to the Clark County Realtors Foundation, we're going to be able to put together 80 Autism Empowerment Cares care packages that are going to include a wide range of different personalized things to be able to support people. It's not just going to be a one-off thing. It's also going to connect families and youth to additional resources and get them reconnected back into the community. And we are just so happy to be able to reduce that loneliness and to be able to increase that connection. And we look forward to hearing about every other thing that all the other organizations are doing. So thank you for investing in autistic and human potential. And we are just, again, very humbled, very grateful.
Fantastic. Well, you're very welcome. Thanks so much for your great work with that great organization, Karen.
Thank you. It's our 10th anniversary, so we're going to be here a long time. We may be small, but we're mighty, and we are passionate.
Excellent. Okay, our next recipient is Big Brothers Big Sisters.
The-
They work to create one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. In addition, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Big Brothers Big Sisters Columbia Northwest has been faced with unprecedented requests for support and assistance from families. They are now serving as a hub for hundreds of families, providing resources for those who are affected by loss of income, food insecurity, lack of health care, and mental health issues. We are pleased to see this grant provide mentoring, case management, and referral services to the low-income families of the youth in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Joining us today to accept this award and to tell us a little more about the program is Beach Pace.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you to the Clark County Realtors Foundation. Brian, you nailed it with the explanation, but please know that Big Brothers Big Sisters, our vision is that all children achieve their greatest potential, and we do that via professionally supported one-to-one mentoring relationships. And as Brian mentioned, this grant, which again, thank you very much, goes to providing youth and families in Clark County with mentoring and case management services. Our information is in the chat, and thank you again for your investment in our work.
You're very welcome. Okay, for over 36 years, Cdm Caregiving Services has been fulfilling their mission of bringing assisted living home. Cdm cares for the elderly and the chronically disabled. Their Living with Dignity program allows them to solve problems which could, without intervention, cause their clients to be moved to a nursing home or become homeless. Living with Dignity has several components, including home repairs and modifications, assistance with pets, including veterinary care and food supplies, and programs to reduce isolation and depression. We are pleased to award a grant to Cdm Caregiving Services today. Here to accept the award and to tell us a little more about it is Eric Erickson.
Thank you, Brian. This is Eric Erickson, Executive Director of Cdm Caregiving Services. And yeah, you did a great job of explaining. We do long-term care for over 750 people a year in Clark County of all ages, mostly seniors, but 95% of which are Medicaid level income. And so they have a lot of needs that their income doesn't cover. Like you said, home repairs, or a lot of them, especially in the past year and a half, have had things like appliances or mattresses, things that we take for granted that really help them to be able to stay at home. And so we're our whole goal is to keep people at home as long as possible. And we're just really glad for support like this that allows us to do that. So thank you very much.
Very welcome. Okay, our next recipient is the Children's Center. Each year, the Children's Center serves over 2,000 children and youth from ages 2 to 21. Those that seek their care are facing many challenges. Some are victims of sexual abuse or domestic violence. Others are living with anxiety, ADHD, depression, and suicidal thoughts. We are privileged to provide this grant, which will help the Children's Center provide lockboxes to keep youth at risk of self-harm and suicide safe. The Children's Center provides a lockbox to parents in which they can keep knives, sharp objects, medications, inaccessible to their teen. Joining us to accept their award and tell us about the program is Jenny Hoheisel.
Thank you, Brian, and good job with my name. Yeah, so like you just said, first of all, just a huge thank you to the Clark County Realtors Foundation. As you mentioned, we will be using the funds, I'm going to try and show this, to buy these lock boxes that we give to the parents of some of the children that we see. And they do, in those lock boxes, they do place, as you mentioned, sharps, medications, anything that the children can potentially harm themselves with. As you all know, with mental health just really being at a forefront here during the pandemic, we are just seeing record levels of acuity. Our clinical director in particular, she's been here for over 20 years and said that she's just never seen anything as difficult as what we're going through right now. So just thank you so much. These boxes are definitely going to help us provide a sense of security and hope for the families that we serve.
You bet. Thank you for the great program. Okay, next, for years, the Clark County Food Bank has partnered with YWCA to provide food for roughly 10 to 14 families who are hiding or recovering from an abusive situation at YWCA's domestic violence shelter. This is known as their Safe Choice program. This year, YWCA has been remodeling their domestic violence shelter. During the remodel of the living quarters, they will have to relocate residents. While relocated, these families will not have access to the secure common kitchen and will need individual food boxes provided for their household during that time. We are pleased to provide this grant to the Clark County Food Bank for the food boxes needed during the renovation of Safe Choice House. Here to accept this grant and to tell us a little more about it is Emily Straw.
Thank you so much. We're excited to be here, and we're excited to be able to partner with you on this project. So exactly what you said, we're Clark County Food Bank. Our mission is to alleviate hunger and its root causes. We do that by distributing about 8 million pounds of food throughout Clark County. And that's with 43 nonprofit partners, some of which are on this call also, and 130 distribution sites throughout the county. So YWCA is a partner of ours for lots of years, and they do really good work. And usually our food is just in their kitchen, and then anyone who's living there and that shelter at that time can go in and make their own food. But while they're in remodel, they can't live there. The remodel is going to be a huge upgrade. It's going to make it much more accessible for them. But they'll be scattered throughout the community in different apartment buildings when that's happening. And so this will really allow us to purchase food that fits those families really well so that they can get deliveries of food while they're in those apartments before they move back to the shelter. So we're really grateful to be able to partner with y'all to provide this good food. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. Thank you, Emily. Okay, the Clark County Veterans Assistance Center is our next recipient. Their mission is to provide a welcoming and safe environment to assist veterans and their families in obtaining benefits, services, and resources, and to meet their basic needs. During this time of the COVID pandemic, they have rescued many veterans and their families from hunger, providing food boxes to veterans and their families, and handing out breakfast and lunch bags to any hungry veteran who comes through their door. We are pleased to provide this grant to the Clark County Veterans Assistance Center to help boost their food budget so they can continue to feed our veterans and their families. Joining us today to accept this grant is Judy Russell.
Thank you, Brian. We so appreciate the Clark County Realtors Foundation for this grant. This will help us to feed many more veterans and their families. Sometimes if a veteran is deployed and the family and the children are left behind, they kind of fall through the cracks. There's nobody to look after them. So we try to make sure that we take care of the families if the veteran's deployed. If the family is homeless, living in their car, they can come and we will give them non-perishable foods. We make breakfast and lunch bags every day. And we pass them out to any hungry veteran that comes to our door or his family. We are in the process now of preparing holiday meals for Thanksgiving. And we so far have been able to arrange for 50 families to pick up one of those boxes. And this grant will enable us to up that number. So thank you so much for helping our veterans. And thank you again to your foundation.
You're very welcome, and thank you, Judy. Okay, Columbia Springs offers a unique setting and educational experience that fosters a greater awareness of the natural world and inspires stewardship. Columbia Springs is focused on youth in the Evergreen and Vancouver public school districts. Their youth-centered programming brings more than 6,000 fifth graders to the Columbia Springs annually. Most of the youth they serve are low to moderate income, and many do not have regular access to outdoors. Columbia Springs plants the seeds of interest, and in turn, children return to Columbia Springs with their families to experience the site together. With us today to accept this grant and tell us a little more about the program is Paul Morris.
Thank you so much, and thank you to the Clark County Association of Realtors and the Foundation for making all of this possible, and for the investment in our nearly 100-acre campus in an urban space. So if you all think about a place that is meaningful to you, that you grew up around, you live nearby, imagine then if that weren't available to you. Columbia Springs is a nearly 100-acre urban open space in Clark County. It's near the river, and it is surrounded by homes. And what we're able to do, thanks in part to this investment, is to provide access not only for youth through our on-site field trip program, but also to families through our Family Nature Days, which are free and invite families from the area to come out and experience nature and the power that nature has to create a sense of calm at any time, but especially in these very uncertain times. And so we just very much appreciate this investment, and we're thrilled to be here today.
Excellent. Thank you, Paul. Okay, since 1991, Evergreen Habitat for Humanity has been partnering with low and moderate income families in Clark County to provide local, affordable home ownership opportunities here in our community. Funds from our grant will be used to purchase windows for the Women Build home. The Women Build program seeks to empower women to get involved with Habitat for Humanity, both on and off the construction site, to encourage women to build affordable housing, and to advocate for affordable housing solutions worldwide. Joining us today to accept this grant and tell us about their program is Leanna Fabian.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you so much to the Clark County Realtors Foundation. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. Just like Brian mentioned, he pretty much hit the nail on the head. Evergreen Habitat partners with low-income families and utilizes volunteer labor to build homes and then sell them to low-income families through 0% interest, affordable 30-year mortgages. And the Women Build program takes that a step further, recognizing not only the male-dominated nature of the construction trade, but also the reality that women, and particularly single mothers, are some of the most vulnerable to housing instability. So the Women Build program seeks to empower women to get involved in all aspects of Habitat's work. And so we actually have a committee of women who fundraise all year long and come up with the money that it takes to provide a full house sponsorship. And so we will be beginning a fully funded Women Build house early in 2022. We've got a brand new 9-home property here in Vancouver. And we will be building that home with at least 60% women volunteers. So we're super excited about that project. And I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that we are, it's our 30th birthday here in Clark County. So people think of Habitat for Humanity as this big international organization, but Evergreen Habitat is just here in Clark County. We've been here building homes for 30 years. So thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Leanna. Glad we could help. Our next recipient is Family Promise of Clark County. Family Promise of Clark County's mission is caring for homeless families with children. They created Family Promise Day Center, where homeless students have access to stable, reliable internet service. In addition, their FP Cares Shelter Diversion Program connects families with immediate financial assistance and/or alternate housing arrangements. Accepting their grant today and to tell us about the program is Michael Pervere.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you to the foundation for supporting us again this year. I'm the president of the Board of Trustees for Family Promise of Clark County, and we really appreciate the financial support that the foundation has been giving us the last couple of years. Yes, we, for those of you not familiar with us, we are an organization that helps children and their families in a homeless situation achieve sustainable, permanent housing through a community-based response. And we do that through a comprehensive set of services that include emergency shelter that utilizes a coordinated compassion approach, providing families with a safe place to sleep, meals, and hospitality. And we're able to do that by engaging resources that already exist in the community, which allows us to operate at a much lower cost than traditional shelter models. So families that are in our program are able to access our intensive case management services so they can develop their own plan for reducing the barriers that are preventing them from getting into a permanent housing situation. Once they're into that house, they have access to our graduate services, graduate support services, so that they can remain in their house permanently. Since our inception in March of 2019, over 85% of the families that are in our program have graduated into permanent housing. And as of this date, 100% of them are still in their house from the time that they went first in there. The average length of time that the families are in our program is right around 11 weeks. Of the clients that are in our program, almost 2/3 of them are children, and of that, 40% of those children are under the ages of 5 years old. So the funds that your foundation is generously providing us this year is going to help Clark County families in a homeless situation get back into a real home and stay there. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and thank you, Michael. It's a much needed program in our community. Okay, the free clinic is our next recipient. The free clinic addresses the healthcare needs of uninsured and underserved residents of Southwest Washington. They're powered by the energy and dedication of volunteers who provide virtually all their clinical services. The grant will allow the free clinic to continue to provide free, compassionate, quality health care to low-income and uninsured community members, many of whom are undocumented and unable to access Medicaid services. The free clinic is installing a new appointment-based operating model, which includes a first ever electronic appointment and medical record system, which will greatly enhance their ability to provide high quality healthcare for patients, especially those with complex or chronic needs. With us today to accept this grant is Pam Nepper.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you to the Clark County Realtors Association for awarding this grant to the Free Clinic of Southwest Washington. We really appreciate your support. I don't need to go into a lot of detail as to where these funds are going to be going. You did a great job explaining, but maybe just something real quick. With the pandemic happening, the free clinic had to quickly pivot its level of care from an urgent care clinic, which we had been for the last 30 years, to an appointment-based clinic. And so that was a big change for us, big change for our staff, and the funds that you're providing us will certainly help our staff learn our new electronic record system, like you said, and hopefully allow us to see more patients in a more safe environment. So on behalf of the 6,500 patients that we serve every year in Clark County, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, our next recipient, Healthy Kids Running Series. This is a nonprofit program created to provide kids in Clark County with a positive educational and fun experience in the world of running. To combat the increasing rates of child obesity in America, this program was designed to motivate kids to be healthy, active, and provide a fun environment to improve their self-esteem, as it is imperative to incorporate a love of physical activity early in every child's life. The program's focus is to have fun and create a get up and go attitude for every child participating in the races. We are pleased to award a grant to Healthy Kids Running Series to support the ongoing success of their nonprofit program. Joining us today to accept this grant is Shauna Bergeron. Shauna, are you muted? Or are you? Shauna still with us? Doesn't look like she's here.
You might have lost her, Brian.
I think we did. I'm just looking here. Okay, looks like Shauna's no longer on the call. So congratulations once again to Healthy Kids Running Series for receiving a grant this year from the Realtor Foundation. The next recipient, since 2016, His Heart Foundation has been building bridges to mental wellness throughout Southwest Washington in areas of prevention, intervention, and restoration. This grant will help fund their Mentor Success program, which meets the needs of underserved children. Mentor Success connects children by equipping trained volunteers for one-on-one customized mentoring sessions. These sessions are geared towards relationship building, social interaction skills, problem solving, character, integrity, and other important life abilities. Here today to receive this grant is Angela Howard.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's just really encouraging to hear about all the amazing work that's being done in Clark County on behalf of those who are suffering, especially during this huge mental health crisis that we've been going through over the last couple of years. So our mentoring program obviously needs volunteers to go into the schools, but as many of you may know, a lot of the public schools are closed to those volunteers at this time. And so in an effort to flex with this current environment, we're working to have online as well as in-person sessions available for the children. And we're preparing to launch school counseling efforts and group sessions to aid in the reintegration and just to help with the social anxiety that kids are experiencing and helping them to be able to be successful in their life, both socially, but also academically. And we really are looking forward to using these funds to continue to offer that caring connection in a socially safe environment. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. And I'm just so honored to receive this grant today. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, Innovative Services serves Clark County's most vulnerable population, children and adults with disabilities. This grant will enable low-income children with developmental delays, disabilities, or other special health care needs to access therapeutic services during their critical development years. By participating in speech, occupational, physical, and other specialty therapies, children will build skills and confidence towards reaching their individual goals of independence. Today, to accept this grant from this organization is Emily Castor.
Thank you so much. And I want to say a big thank you to the Clark County Realtors Foundation to have us here and just for helping us continue to serve all the children in our community that we do serve. I work in the pediatric therapy department, so I get to see the lovely garden that Jerry and her team help the downstairs kids with every year. But in pediatric therapy, these funds are really helping us continue to serve all of the kids that we can, regardless of what type of insurance they have. A lot of private clinics limit the number of Medicaid clients that they take because Medicaid reimbursement rates are lower than private insurance companies. And we in the pediatric therapy department proudly serve about 80% Medicaid clients. And that's what these funds are going to help us continue to do. So I wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, our next recipient is Legacy Health Salmon Creek Medical Center. They support vulnerable children, families, and seniors living in Clark County. This grant will support their child abuse assessment team, which funds to purchase supplies for special superhero and princess examination gowns and capes. It will also provide funds to purchase distraction items, small toys, and other objects for children to focus on during difficult portions of the medical exam. Here to receive their grant and tell us a little more about this program is Legacy Salmon Creek's Philanthropy and Community Engagement Officer, Kate Sacamano.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thank you to the Clark County Realtors Foundation for investing in our community and investing in all these incredible organizations. We're truly honored to be one of the recipients. Legacy Salmon Creek Medical Center has been serving Southwest Washington since 2005. And one of our most important community programs is our child abuse assessment team. This is a team of incredible professionals who are committed to providing compassionate, comprehensive, child-centered medical evaluations for children who have been suspected or have experienced traumatic violence and neglect. We see children who are referred to us by the justice system, by law enforcement, by medical professionals, oftentimes in our emergency department, unfortunately. One of the ways that we provide trauma-informed care is to help alleviate the stress for the children ages from as young as a newborn to 17 years of age. When they come into our clinic, we provide them with different ways to help alleviate that stress and to connect with them so that they feel comfortable and safe in our environment. Your grant will help us to provide those distractions, whether it's a stuffed animal or a fidget toy or a laptop or an iPad that they can listen to music on. And one of the other features of this grant will be providing fabric for capes that we have volunteers make for our youngest patients. It provides them a lot of strength and courage during those examinations, and it's something that they can take with them. So thank you very, very much for helping us provide that compassionate care.
Well, you are very, very welcome. It's a great program. Okay, Lifeline Connections serves more than 4,000 low-income youth and adults annually. Their mission is to inspire hope and support life-saving changes for people affected by substance use and mental health conditions. One of their programs is Camp Mariposa, a free transformational weekend camp and youth mentoring program serving at-risk children ages 9 to 12, living with substance use disorder in their families. This program breaks the intergenerational cycle of addiction by providing children with knowledge, tools, and coping skills needed to prevent them from developing a substance use disorder of their own. The funds provided will be used to restock camp store supplies, allowing kids to acquire items that bring joy to their lives. Joining us to receive the award to tell us a little more about the program is Jeff Sawada.
Thanks, Brian. We appreciate this. Thanks to the Clark County Realtors Foundation for the award. And also congratulations to all the other wonderful nonprofits. It's good to see some familiar faces. Paul Morris, hello, buddy. We really appreciate this. The camp itself is a wonderful place. It is a place of healing and of therapy. And the store is a place where as kids reach different levels, create new relationships with other peers. That peers situation is really important to this. They reach certain keys where they can then use coins to go in and buy items that are just personal, they're therapeutic, they help kids to overcome the addictions or the affliction their parents probably have. It's very important because these kids often blame themselves, and that's why Camp Mariposa is so important. So we appreciate the continued support from your organization. And again, thank you so much for this year and in years past. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, Meals on Wheels People recognizes the need to reach out to seniors to help them maintain their independence by remaining healthy and in their own homes. We are pleased to award Meals on Wheels People a grant toward their medically tailored meals program, an evidence-based nutritional intervention program tailored to clients' specific needs and delivered to their homes by trained volunteers and staff. Medically tailored meals are much more costly to produce because they include higher quality meals, a variety of choices, and larger portions. The grant will be targeted to at-risk older adults served by the Lupke Center in Clark County. With us today to receive this grant is Jeremy James Cochran.
Thank you so much, Brian. And thank you to the Clark County Realtors Foundation. I actually just joined CCAR again last month, so I'm inspired by everyone's generosity and just your commitment to all of these terrific nonprofits, and was so excited to hear about this when it came up. The Medically Tailored Meals Program is one of our newest programs. We've been testing it for the last couple of years on a much smaller scale, and we were one of 4 other organizations in the nation trying this. And it's such an incredible program because seniors who go into surgery and come out of it, who receive the proper nutrition that they need, are much less likely to have complications and readmittance into hospitals. And a majority of the clients in our medically tailored meals program continue to receive the meals after they're done with the program. So it's an incredible program that we've now rolling out, and we're so honored that the Clark County Realtors Foundation has awarded us to help us with this in Clark County. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Jeremy. Okay, Office Moms and Dads is a community of qualified volunteers partnering with child welfare offices to provide a nurturing environment for children entering foster care. Their goal is to recruit 40 new volunteers to reach a total of 105 volunteers. They will find caring and dedicated adults and train them with Office Moms and Dads model and approach of trauma-informed care. These efforts take increased hours of outreach, marketing, flyers, posts to social media, countless phone calls, and Zoom meetings. They also plan to purchase a high-capacity office printer so that they can produce training and outreach materials in-house. Joining us today to accept this grant is Christian Hochreiter.
Hi, thanks so much. Really a big thank you to Clark County Realtors Foundation. Like Brian said, we are working here in Clark County. We have sites throughout Washington and Idaho, but Vancouver is our flagship office, and we are getting ready to serve probably about 150 kids in 2022, we estimate. And so, yeah, big challenge right now is, and probably a lot of other nonprofits can relate, is that we've lost about 40% of our volunteer force, and that's the key to doing what we do. We are finding folks who will go, and the metaphor we use is they're sitting with kids in the eye of the storm. They've been removed from their home, they've lost everything, so we are looking for these exceptional people and to do some hard work, and it's makes a big difference. So yeah, these funds will help us get there. We know we can staff back up with our caring volunteers, but yeah, it's going to involve things like our printer. We have that in the works. We're excited. You know, these small things, but they make this all possible, and really an honor to be here. And I think it's inspiring, and it reminds me of, this is a community, and it's a community of big-hearted people that are, they're all helping Clark County, and probably a lot of the same kids and communities. And I think it takes this many organizations to make a difference like this. And thanks again, we really appreciate it.
You bet. We're glad we can help. Okay, we're down to our final 3 recipients, guys. We're getting close. Our next recipient is Rock Solid Teen. Rock Solid Teen is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing a safe place for the youth of our community. They foster kids' relationships with one another and caring adults for the purpose of encouraging them to become rock solid persons. Rock Solid offers an amazing life skills program throughout the school year. The grant will cover activity costs, field trips, and educational materials. Rock Solid invites local guest speakers from numerous professions and trades to engage the students based on the following criteria, or categories rather: daily living skills, social skills, job skills, health and nutrition, community awareness, and dollars and cents. Here to accept this grant today is Marcy Sprecher.
Thank you, Brian, and thank you so much to the Clark County Association of Realtors and the Foundation. We are so grateful, and thank you for believing in the work that we're doing with the youth in our community. Rock Solid is an after-school youth serving, mentoring, youth development program for kids 5th through 12th grade. And it is so great to be back in person, providing this life skills program for our teens. These are topics that you mentioned, Brian, that we feel are essential in living a successful life, but aren't always taught in the school setting. So it's important to us to be able to bring these different topics to our kids with fun activities and guest speakers, like you said, to be able to just bring some fun and bring some engagement. So we are, again, very grateful for this funding, and we look forward to providing these great things for our kids. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks. That's a great sounding program. Glad we could help. Okay, our next recipient is Share. Share believes every person counts. Share envisions a community without hunger, where all people have safe and adequate housing and the skills to enhance their quality of life. Share's backpack program provides weekly food bags for children identified as at risk of hunger. They are hoping to grow their capacity to provide food bags to at-risk children on weekends. By meeting the immediate food needs of students in our community, they are able to thrive in school and work toward breaking intergenerational patterns. With us today to accept this is Becky Reed-Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Brian, and thank you to Clark County Realtors Foundation. We really appreciate your support. It kind of covered backpacks program, but we partner with Vancouver School District and Evergreen School District, Battleground School District, and many others throughout Clark County to provide weekend food bags to low-income families, unaccompanied youth, and students that are identified as their school at risk for food insecurity. So this support from your grant will just help us to continue that program and support more families as they're identified now that kids are, back in school, and continue to provide this food for our community. So thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you, Becky. Okay, our last recipient of the day is Vancouver Farmers Market Produce PALS program. This program is designed to educate children about making healthy choices while providing a $2 chip to be spent after completing an activity. Funds from this grant would go directly towards increasing outreach to low-income and disadvantaged children, activity equipment and supplies, and token reimbursement to farmers, so children can shop for their own fruits and vegetables at the market. Joining us today to accept this grant is Stephanie Haynes.
Hi, thank you so much for having me and for this amazing grant opportunity. So you described the Produce Pals program to a T, but this past year, Produce Pals also provided a really amazing outlet to reach families and children that were struggling with food insecurity. And through the program, we were actually able to provide and refer families information for our SNAP Market Match program, which provides folks with an additional $40 per market visit to spend on fresh fruits and vegetables at the market. And so in addition to our Amazing Kids program to really teach kids about the food system and help them make healthy shopping decisions at the market, we were also able to just refer families so they could just increase their food budget and have more dollars to spend at the farmers market on fresh fruits and vegetables. And we just got these numbers in that the VFM was actually the second largest distributor of SNAP Market Match out of 100 farmers markets in the state, which equated to over $286,000 in food assistance going through the market in 2021. So that's really amazing. And we want to thank Clark County Realtors for your support of our programs.
You're very welcome. Okay, well, that wraps it up, guys. Please join me, everybody, in acknowledging all of these amazing people that are with us today and all these great organizations. I don't know if we can hear you clapping, but you're all doing great work, and we're glad that we were able to provide you grants today. I would just like to say on behalf of the foundation as this year's president, this is the day right here that is the payoff for us. We work all year, we raise money. Today is the day where we get to give that money back to our community, these great programs. Thank you all for the great programs that you have, and we are very glad to be able to provide you with grants today. Thank you for everything you're doing in our community. We're so pleased to be able to support these vital programs. It's been inspiring to hear your stories. We wish you great success in the future and the best of luck in 2022. So thanks again for everybody else that's not with these organizations for coming and celebrating this great work that these organizations do in every corner of Clark County. So thanks so much again, and take care, everybody.